Welcome into the Nashville Game Changers podcast. I'm your host, Jill Jelnick. Well, it's official. The Nolan Smith era at Tennessee State University has officially gotten underway. Really excited to have the next head coach of TSU men's basketball joining us today, Nolan Smith. Coach, thank you so much. You just got hired, came over to Nashville, like a week and a half ago? Yes.
Yep.
So a little bit of a whirlwind.
Yes.
Is that safe to say?
Very safe to say. It's been a lot. It's been very exciting times, a lot of texts, calls, emails, a lot of people I have to get back to right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing a lot of people always prepare me for. They're like, hey, take notes of all the people that you have to respond to. Try to get back to everybody. I'm like, yeah, I'm just trying to figure that out right now. But it's been very exciting times.
Yeah, a long journey for you in terms of playing, coaching, and we'll definitely dive into your coaching career as well, leading up to this head coaching position at TSU. But first, what was that moment like when you officially accepted the head coaching position, your first head coach job?
It was very fulfilling. You know, when I changed careers and started coaching, the first thing that Coach K always asks all of us as former players when we get into coaching is, hey, do you want to be a head coach? And he asked that question because you can't be on his staff if you don't want to be a head coach. That's kind of like his one thing, that he wanted to groom guys to be head coaches. So I'm like, yes, of course I want to be a head coach. He's okay. All right, well, now you can join my staff. Now that I know that, so now just start taking notes. I started as special assistant to director of basketball operations for 2 years and assistant coach for 2 years. So just going through everything that I've been through just to get to this point, it was, you know, the icing on the cake to finally be in the front seat, be the head coach, and especially here at Tennessee State. Like I said, it's a dream job and just very excited to be here and get to work.
Yeah, what was kind of your first impressions of Nashville coming into this city before you kind of took this job?
Probably a big city.
Yeah.
Back in a big city, you know. Going to Louisville, which is kind of a big city. Going to Memphis, which is not that big of a city. And then coming here, you know, you get to see the skyline. Driving in, you see the skyline, and growing up in D.C., you know, this is kind of what I'm used to. They're like, oh, there's traffic. I love traffic. I'm used to it.
You're like, I'm okay with that. Not a lot of people would normally say, hey, I'm good with the traffic.
I'm good with traffic. Every drive for me growing up was 45 minutes to an hour growing up in the D.C. area. So just being in a big city, a city that's grown fast over the last couple of years, and a city with a lot of schools in it. So just the excitement of being in a city like this just excited me and my family.
Yeah, you're also taking over a program that is in no way under a rebuild, going through a rebuild. This is a program that 17-16 overall last year, I believe finished third in the standings. This is a program that has been on the rise. And you have some good players coming back. How excited are you for this team, your first year?
I'm very excited, and shout out to Coach Collins on his new gig down with the Memphis Grizzlies. But he built a big time team. So when you come into a situation like this that already has a team that's been through some things, been through adversity, just meeting with them firsthand, the first couple of things individually and collectively we've already met, and every player individually talked about what happened last year, wanting to win a championship. That's the goal. The goal is to go to the NCAA tournament and possibly winning a game. You know, so their expectations are very big. So the first thing I said, well, if those are your expectations, understand how hard it is. Understand what it's going to take every single day when we get between those lines to hang a banner in the Gentry Center. And all of them all shook their head in agreement, like, okay, let's go. Well, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to just take this thing to the next level. Again, like you said, it's not a rebuild. So just to build off what's been built and, win a championship.
I love what you said about expectations, and when any coach goes into a job, right, and they ask what are your goals, it's always got to be, hey, we expect to win championships, we expect to hoist trophies. Now, how long it takes and the work that gets put in to lead up to that's what the coach is in charge of, in that timeline. For you, for year one specifically, this first season, what are your goals with this first team?
Goals right away are to win the OVC regular season, win the tournament, and then go to the NCAA tournament and hopefully win a game. You know, the goal is always to win, right? My expectations for myself as a coach and for my staff is to win. It doesn't matter. Like, our goal is to win, and I've always had those expectations. And the fact that this team has the same expectation, it's a match. So we're very excited just to get going.
You mentioned Coach K earlier. Coach Krzyzewski, did it take you a while to learn how to pronounce his full name, or did you always just say Coach K?
when we're just Coach K,
yeah.
we got there, but we did learn how to spell it, which took time to learn it. It's Krzyzewski.
Okay, there you go. Was that a requirement as a player? You had to spell Coach K there?
It's kind of like a behind the scenes thing. Because a couple of times they'd ask you, do you know how to spell it? And at first you're like, no. Like, not at all. You would butcher it. Like, wouldn't even come close. So then you find like, all right, well, I probably should learn how to spell my coach's name.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when you talk about a head coach that's won 5 national titles at Duke, that obviously he's doing something right. And you were part of that 2010 national title.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you remember from that team?
We were tough. Mm-hmm. We were tough. We had been through adversity. We had lost in the round of 32. We had lost in the Sweet 16. And we were just battle tested. When you lose in the tournament, you come back with bigger expectations every next season. And that group, that 2010 team, we were old, we were veterans. We had 3 seniors and 2 juniors that were ready to lead. Then we had a really good bench, an athletic bench. You had the Plumlee brothers, Mason Plumlee, Miles Plumlee, Andre Dawkins, Ryan Kelly coming off the bench, and obviously our starting 5. We'd had everything that we needed, but the biggest thing we had was that we had been through some wars.
Mm-hmm. That battle testing throughout the season, that always helps for when you get to the madness, the March Madness.
Absolutely. I think that's what excites me about this team that I have here right now is that, they lost last year by 2 in the semifinals, and they all feel like they should have won. I went back and watched the game already. They should have won that game. So I've been watching and studying that game alone because it's important for me to feel what they felt, right? See what happened in that game in order for them to get past that this season. So just seeing that game, it's like, okay, this is where y'all trying to get to. This is why we lost. But having that hunger and that in the back of their minds, it's gonna take us over that hump.
You're listening to the Nashville Game Changers podcast with TSU head coach Nolan Smith. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Going back to those Duke Blue Devil days as a player, what did you really remember or take away the most from Coach K and your time at Duke?
There's so many valuable lessons that I took away from him. I'd probably say first, just from a player side. So I got to see both sides of him. And as a player, he just challenged us every day to be the best that we can be on and off the court. He pushed us. Obviously, we knew going into Duke, obviously we were trying to be NBA players. That's always the goal when you pick up the basketball, right? And he just challenged us. He never let us have a bad day, never let us have a bad practice. If we did have a bad practice, he was going to let us know, hey, you were terrible today. And you quickly had to respond and change and come back better the next day. So I think just that challenge that he gave us just to push ourselves with this game of basketball is what made him the GOAT and one of the greatest coaches of all time. From the coach's side, I got to see how masterful he was when it came to motivating. He was a master motivator, and everything was strategic. The way he planned, the way he did his practice plans, the way he planned what individual he was going to go at on certain days, the way he knew coming after a big game that that you had to battle human nature. Right? You win a big game, we come back, and you have a big game on Monday after a big Saturday win. All right, it's a quick turnaround. Now we have a big Monday game on ESPN. Well, human nature says you're going to let down and you're going to come out to that game and probably lay an egg. It was the reason why we were always prepared for that next big game because he challenged us harder in film session to not let human nature beat us, to still respond and let whatever just happened go. All right, that's the past. Now let's get ready for what's in front of us. So, yeah, genius.
Is Coach K's style of motivation, what you just talked about, is that something you have carried over into your style of coaching?
Absolutely. It'll be my way, but it'll definitely have a hint of Coach K in there. Again, that's who I took so many notes from so many years. And when I first got into coaching, I was walking around with a notepad and pen, just kind of watching and studying him, always taking notes. So, definitely having a little bit of the Coach K in my mindset is definitely there.
Before you went into coaching, you also played a couple years in the NBA. You've also played overseas. How much did that experience kind of help you in terms of know what it takes to play at that next level, and as a head coach, help your players know what it takes to play at that next level?
No, it means everything. I think that's kind of what makes me a player's coach, right? There's so many former players that got into coaching, and the one thing I've always tried to tell myself is you can wear both hats. Right, I can be the best coach that I can be while also remembering that I played this game at the highest level. So I can teach it. I'm still young enough to where I can show it. But really the main thing is teaching and giving them the blueprint for what it takes to get to that level. And, some of them might remember my playing days. It's crazy that they don't, because I'm not
that you're not that yet, old,
right? Like there's some guys that I know, right? Their highlights are very black and white or very green. You can't really see them. I think my highlights are still visible that they can go watch. But, just to be able to show them exactly what it takes, how hard they have to work, and that I did it not that long ago, to really give them what they need to get to wherever it is they're trying to go. A lot of the guys said they want to be pros, and that doesn't have to be NBA, but even to be a pro overseas, it's hard. And just to give them what it takes to get there.
So what did ultimately help you decide you wanted to go down the coaching path?
It was always my next step, right? It was always what I wanted to do once the ball stopped bouncing. My dad coached. Before he passed away, after 9 years playing, he got into coaching with the Washington Bullets, which, for those listeners that don't know, the Bullets are the Washington Wizards.
There you go, yep.
But he got into coaching, so when he passed, I always kind of told myself I wanted to follow in his footsteps. And then following his footsteps, I knew, okay, well, when I'm done playing, I'm getting right into coaching. And Coach K kind of always knew that. He always kind of knew what players were going to make the best coaches because we were coaches on the court. So that's kind of how he also knew to come to me and say, hey, are you ready to coach now? Once I had my second knee surgery. But once I got into it, it was always the plan. Always the plan to give back, be that early on big brother to these young men and just help them chase their dreams.
You were there as a coach for 8 years? Is that
I think it was 7, 8 years.
7, 8 years. Yep. And then took the next step and went on to Louisville before going to Memphis. How did you know that was the right step for you in your career path?
Yeah, so that was a different choice. A lot of people were like, oh, you're leaving Duke to go to Louisville. Why would you do that? But Louisville was home for me. I'm born in Louisville. My dad played at Louisville, won a championship in Louisville in 1980 championship team. And it came down, my decision to go to college came down between Duke and Louisville. So it was always a dream of mine at some point in my life. Didn't know when God was going to open that door, but it was crazy. Coach K's last season, we go to the Final Four, and then boom, Louisville hires Kenny Payne. And I'm like, all right, this has to be a sign, because Kenny Payne and my dad were best friends. So I was like, this has to be a sign to go here with Kenny Payne and help him do something special there. So then, I made the decision to go there. The 2 years went how they went, but I learned a lot during those 2 years on just handling adversity. Handling adversity and battling through it, coaching every single day, no matter what our record was, and showing up for these young men that were going through it harder than us. They were the ones between those lines and having to deal with it. But it was my job to continue to coach and teach them even when times were hard. And then after that, then the move to Memphis.
Moved to Memphis and coaching with Coach Hardaway.
Yes.
How would you describe his coaching style?
Just a player's coach. Yeah. A player's coach. If you watch any Memphis team, they get up and down, they play free, and he does an amazing job of just teaching concepts, teaching style of play, teaching how to play free within playing the right way, passing up good shots for great shots, and just to work with somebody like that. I mean, I remember first day in the office and we're sitting there just talking. I remember telling him I had a little penny dog growing up. So to be
of him, yes.
I had a little penny dog. Yeah. So to sit there next to him, like, I had one of those dogs, right?
What did he say?
Oh man, look, he was so humble. He's like, man, that's cool, man. I wish I still had one. I'm like, you don't have one laying around? And then obviously Penny Hardaway shoes, the foams.
Oh yeah.
That was another cool part about working with Coach Hardaway was, I growing up in DC, Maryland, we wore his shoes growing up. So now I had inside track to getting all the foam posits that I wanted for a year. Yeah, I mean, he took care of us in a major way.
Isn't it so funny how sports comes full circle sometimes? As just kids growing up, we idolize these athletes, and then usually going down the coaching path. I mean, you call it the coaching tree, right?
Yeah.
There's so many connections, and especially with your dad's career and him as well. I imagine this kind of journey for you has been full circle in a very family-oriented way.
Absolutely. I mean, all these relationships really came about just from being in the business my whole life. How I ended up with Coach Penny. We had connected just through some NBA circles, and then 5 years later, we connected on the road and just started texting and talking. And then obviously when the whole Louisville thing went down, we had a mutual friend that reconnected us. Like, hey, he's open, and boom, it was done. Yeah. So just having those relationships and they mean everything in this business.
Stay with us. You're listening to the Nashville Game Changers podcast with TSU head coach Nolan Smith. We'll be right back after this. As you begin this new chapter as the head coach of TSU men's basketball, other than the guys, what is something that maybe you're excited the most about when it comes to that new challenge, a new challenge for you?
I think I'm very, very excited about just bringing excitement and some big time basketball to Tennessee State University for the community, for the HBCU community, for the culture, but then also for Nashville. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of great basketball in this city, and Tennessee State is going to be one of those schools where people are coming to our games to watch us. And that's something I'm just excited to build and be a part of. My staff coming in is excited to be a part of it, and it starts this year with this team that we have right now.
Yeah. Before we let you go, let's go ahead and do our In My Opinion segment. This is where we can open it up to whatever you want, Coach, whatever's been on your mind. I know you have a family with 3 little ones running around. You probably have Paw Patrol all over the place. You probably have all kinds of stuff going on at home. But what's been on your mind lately?
Definitely a lot.
Yeah,
definitely a lot. Like you just said. So I can go down the list of the move, get my family, get my kids into school. There's so many things I could talk about. But one thing I'll say on my mind right now, while trying to find some peace in all this chaos, was the new Happy Gilmore 2.
Oh, you went and saw it?
Watched it. It was on Netflix.
Yes. How was it?
I loved it. That's what I did on my birthday.
Oh, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I went back to the hotel after a long day and told my wife, because obviously they were still in Memphis. I told my wife, she's like, well, what are you going to do for your birthday? I had to go to an event that night too. Mm-hmm. So after the event, I go back to the hotel and I said, I'm just going to sit here and watch Happy Gilmore 2. I loved Happy Gilmore 1.
Yes.
So I'm like,
high expectations. Yes. Like, were you a little skeptical going in? Like, I'm not quite sure if this is going to deliver a second time around, because that's where I am.
Absolutely. Okay. Anytime you do a sequel, right, to a classic, you typically ruin it. Yeah. Right. Whether it's Space Jam 2.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't love it.
It didn't live up.
Sorry, Bron.
Sorry, LeBron.
Didn't love it. What else? He Got Game 2. Mm-hmm. Shout out to my guy, Jack Harlow, but didn't love it.
These are great examples of sports sequels. I appreciate
Classics,
this. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Classics. And I think they did a remake of Sandlot, right?
They did, I was
wasn't
bummed.
Good,
yeah.
Right? Leave classics alone. But I will say I was very impressed with this movie because obviously Adam Sandler's still in it, right? So I think that's a plus, right? You obviously have the main guy, one of the funniest comedians of all time, still in the movie, so it's going to be funny. I think just reading people's comments about it, they're like, oh, it wasn't the same. It's not going to be the same. It's a different movie, right? But they kept a lot of the characters still in the movie.
Okay, good. I haven't seen it yet, so this is good to know. I got to go see this.
A lot of the characters still pop up, right? Shooter McGavin, all the funny guys from the first one.
Good.
And a lot of cameos from a lot of different celebrities in the movie.
Okay.
So I think if you want to laugh, it's a really good movie.
Okay, that's a great recommendation. Speaking of sports movies, I am obsessed with sports movies. I have my rankings, my top 5, my top 10, but I want to know in terms of basketball movies, what is your top 3?
Top 3.
And you could just have 3. Don't have to rank them necessarily, but just your favorite basketball movies all time.
I'm gonna go Blue Chips.
Okay. Wow. Classic.
Number Number 2. This is hard.
Yeah, I know. I put you on the spot too. I'm sorry.
I have them all. I have them all picked.
Right, but ranking them is another story,
these
right?
These rankings can change every day. So I'm just going to say, 2, love and basketball.
Oh, so good.
And then 3, I'll go He Got Game.
Okay.
And
honorable mention? You want an honorable mention?
Honorable mention, The Sixth Man.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. Okay. I got to put that on my movie list.
It's a good one. But I will say I would love to see a He Got Game too.
Okay.
Because if you factor in, obviously, what was going on back then in that movie, the agent, the money that they were trying to give to Ray Allen.
Put it in today's world. Yeah.
With all the agents now, transfer portal, NIL. I think somebody can make a really good movie. They did He Got Game too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Especially, I mean, and like you said, sequels, sometimes they usually miss, but that storyline is there and it's so relevant to today.
As well. So if somebody takes it, right? It's my idea. I'm gonna give
you credit. Coach Smith said this on this episode of Nashville Game Changers. No, that's awesome. I appreciate that. And thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. I know this is such a crazy time for you and you have your hand in so many different things, but I think what I love about this is there's no doubt that you are going to be a Nashville Game Changer starting right now. And so to be able to talk to you, hear your vision for this team, it's exciting. And like you said, a lot of excitement and hype surrounding TSU men's basketball right now. You're a big reason why.
Man, thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, and go Tigers, right?
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Thanks so much for listening to the Nashville Game Changers podcast. Be sure to tune in next week for our new guest. And also be sure to check out our YouTube page, social media, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. And when you're there, be sure to like and subscribe.